Hey everyone, this is Key Ernest, Key Creative Studio, Master Drawing Japan. I'm sorry I've been away because I've been doing these seminars with my teacher Glenn Villepu, who is in Tokyo now. I've been really busy. And actually, for those of you who are in Japan, have been coming to the seminars, thank you. I really appreciate you coming. It really means a lot to me. And then some of you have come all the way from Osaka, and I was really impressed with that. So, really thank you very much. And I'm hoping to bring Glenn back again soon. Well, soon as in like next year. So, okay, so today I want to talk about a couple of things. One thing I noticed that people seem to have problems like drawing boxes and like then like applying that like to the figure, right? And I think I noted this before in terms of having a good sense of like perspective, right? I've spoken to you guys, about 1 point, like 1 point perspective, like everything, going off into the distance, at 1 point like that. Okay. I've spoken to you guys about 2 point. Okay, so now you have 2 points going off into the distance. Okay, and then I've also spoken to you about 3 point perspective, which is basically like we have three 3 points, right? One going off this way, right? One going off that way, and then like one going down. Okay. Okay. Now here's the thing. Okay. Like I always say, I say in my videos, or I tell you guys, I get it. Like nobody loves perspective, but it's something that we have to make friends with it, if we want to be able to draw things believably and effectively. Okay, so it's a sense that you have to have. Okay, again, the basic the basic secret sauce, okay, when it comes to perspective is converging lines. Okay, so, or let me rephrase that. Let's say converging parallel lines. That's the key thing. You have converging parallel lines. Okay, so basically when I say parallel lines, basically we're talking about, we have like two lines, that are in a separate space, but are on the same axis. In other words, like, they're both essentially at the exact same angle, right? If this is 180 degrees, this is 180 degrees, right? Okay. So the thing is, when it comes to keeping things parallel, if we are to imagine things being in space, like if I was to take like these two lines, and then I'm gonna go like this, okay? Immediately, I'm just gonna just do two arrows, right? We can feel like this pinch to this point, right? Let me sweep this out so you can really see it, right? And this is what this is what causes the perspective, right? Which is converging lines. Converging lines. I think everyone can understand that. Everyone should understand that, right? If I had a, let me see if I can find a piece of paper or something like that. Okay, right? Here's a piece of paper, right? So we have like these parallel lines, going this way, right? But again, like if I fold it, right? If I fold it I hope this is showing up, right? You can see that these lines here, now it's right, right? These are parallel, right? It's the same 180 degrees, 180 degrees, right? So if I turn it, or so if I fold it this way, now those lines are going, they're converging to a point. Like this is going down and this is going down. If they keep going, they're going to go to a point. And the same thing on this side, right? This is going down and away from us, okay? So this is the basic sense that I hope this is showing up. This is the basic sense you need to have when it comes to doing effective perspective, is that, look, all the lines in perspective are always going to be parallel to each other, okay? If they're not parallel to each other, that's when it breaks apart. That's when it tends like to fall apart, okay? And I think that's what people have a problem with, actually. It's a problem that I had a long time ago too, which is making sure that your parallel lines are consistent, okay? Now I can't recommend, I can't tell you like a secret how to do that. It's just a basic sense you have to develop for yourself, okay? Maybe it might be good, maybe, just to start simple, and just doing like parallel lines. I think everyone can do that, right? We know that these things are they're gonna go to a point, okay? When you get confident with that, then you can do it in the opposite direction like that, right? And here we go. Here's our box in 2-point perspective, okay? All right, so when you do your lines, okay, make sure you sweep your lines, okay? That's another thing. That's another thing that also, might destroy, you being able to put this down effectively. If you're kind of like doing like this, don't do that, because I get it, I mean, you don't want to make a mistake, you want to do things right. You have to make your ideas more complete. Glenn Vilppu said yesterday in the seminars that drawing is thinking. Drawing is thinking. So every line that you do, it's very indicative of of how you're thinking, how you're processing your ideas, right? Or how you're bringing your ideas out into the world. And we want our ideas to be clear, right? And hopefully, relatively confident, right? Yeah. So you see that? Like every line that I put down, if it's an idea, it's a complete idea, right? Not da, 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 da. Okay. If you do that, you're setting yourself up, to make it more difficult, than it need be. Okay. One of the last thing is in terms of the box thing. All right. All right. So like parallel lines, are always, converging to the same point. Okay. That is the secret. That is the secret sauce. Okay. The other thing is that all the lines that are okay, sorry. Well, these are on the relatively the horizontal axis, and then you have these which are on the vertical ones. Okay, you notice that these vertical lines, right? These are also parallel, right? And these are exactly the same. This is the same as this, as the same as that, right? The only things that are really changing are these lines that are on the horizontal axis, and again, they're parallel, but parallel onto a converging point. The other ones here, right? They're all exactly the same. Okay. Now, when it comes to like a 3-point perspective, okay, those vertical lines are going to converge, right? That's the other big difference. So if I keep going with this one, right, eventually, it's gonna all of these are gonna converge, down to the same point, right? All right, so that's something to keep in mind. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about in terms of, I want to bring this home to something we can apply it to, which is drawing the head, right? Now you note that I said, drawing the head, not drawing a face. Okay. Um, Someone I know that was having some difficulty like drawing a head. Um, I told them to look, you have to like, get more comfortable like drawing boxes, because if you can draw a box in perspective, right? It's gonna help you to essentially to see better, when you start drawing objects, such as like the human body, um, arms, legs, and of course, the head. Okay, so again, you want to draw the head, not the face. The face is just like the relationship between like the eyes and the nose and the mouth in terms of that placement, right? It has nothing to do with the perspective. Okay, all right. So let's say, I'll keep it simple. Okay, now when it comes down to like drawing a head, okay, I'm not necessarily recommending, that you guys like, okay, I'm gonna draw a box, like this, okay, and then I'm gonna stick a head in it like that. Okay, I'm sorry, I got a bit of a cold, which I'm fighting. I mean, you can do this as a kind of practice for yourself. I don't really recommend it, to just to stick with that, because well, people are not particularly interested in looking at boxes, actually. But if you want to use this as a practice for yourself, okay, fine. At least you can understand like where like this is getting a little messy. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry. Yeah. Uh, you can see like where the turning edges are, right? Okay. I mean, so in other words, like chin is dropping down. This is going this way, right? Head is going like that. Since this is going this way, that means the chin has to go this way, right? If if this part of the box is going this way, this means the head is going away in space. Yeah, you understand? Okay. Again, I mean, you can do this as a practice, but I don't recommend like doing this every time. You want to set up like to draw, to draw like a portrait or something like that. You can use it as a little bit of, it's like training wheels or something like that, but it's not necessarily, you know, you don't want this, to be, the architecture that you're working from, when you're drawing. You just want this like to be an overall understanding. Okay. Okay. And mouth is going this way. Okay. So again, it's this is just a sense like you need to have. Okay. You know, this is going this way, and this is kind of going that way. All right. Nose, mouth. Okay. Cheekbones. The other things, the other things I'm keeping in mind here, which is, of course, which is like the anatomy. Okay, eyes. As you can see, the eyes are going away, right? So if this is going this way, like that, that means that this eye is gonna be closer. I'm sorry, the eye that's closer to us is gonna be a little bit bigger. The one is farther away from us is gonna be a little bit smaller. Okay. Actually, the real turning edge is over here, and eyes. Okay. brow. Actually, it's just forehead should be a little bit more. There we go. More like that. Okay. So like I said, you want, your tools. You want to use your tools to help you. You don't want your tools. Um, you don't want your tools using you, right? Let's go down, nose. Okay. Basically speaking, that's how you put like a head in perspective. Okay. All right. Just a. Okay. This is going back. Chin's coming down, but it's going away from us. It's going away from us. Okay. Essentially, you can use this as the turning edge here. Okay. So again, converging lines here. Converging lines. Okay. All my vertical lines are exactly the same. Okay. All right. So I will do another video on this in the future. Okay. But I hope this helps a little bit, because I know, some people who are, very like new at drawing, stuff like that. It can be a little bit frustrating. Okay. All right. So that's my suggestion, and I'll see you guys next time. All right. Bye-bye.